We're here today with a very interesting new car, the Fisker Karma. And we're here today at California Speedway and we're going to try it out. So this car is a extended range electric vehicle. You charge it with either 110 or 220 voltage. That gives you about a 50-mile EV driving range without the engine ever starting. So that's a pretty good thing. Once the engine does start, I think you've got another 250 or so miles of gasoline driving you can do before you have to fill up. So it gives you that freedom to just do anything you want, sort of like the Volt. There's no range anxiety whatsoever. The interior is quite extravagant. I think it's rather attractive. The wood here, for instance, is recovered from various situations where it might be thrown away. So in this case, it's used from the roots of trees that were in the California fires. So there's a lot of environmental thinking here. Above me is a solar panel that covers the roof of the car. It does a much more considerable job of offering additional energy. It helps keep the cockpit cool and does actually supply a little bit of electrical power to the car. There's two modes for driving it, a stealth mode that I'm in now and a sport mode that I'm in now. There it is. That started the engine, as you heard. The stealth mode is basically EV mode. It'll take the battery down to about 20% state of charge. In sport mode, you have the engine's availability and also the willingness of the battery to be used more aggressively. The handling of the car is very interesting. The car has a slight rear weight bias. 53% of the weight is on the back of the car. The tires are larger on the back as well to compensate for that or to deal with that. But you end up with a very interesting handling characteristic where the tail really moves around, but in a positive way. It's not a negative, scary thing or anything like that. It seems very drivable. You can step out of the throttle entering a corner and the tail really works with you and you can work it back and forth with the throttle. In the past, we've always thought of EVs and things like this as the complete opposite of a performance car. Well, this thing actually is really quite a lot of fun to drive. The chassis is very flat. When I press on the brakes, we have very little nosedive, a little bit, not much. This is stepping on the throttle. There was the engine just started. There was a whistle sound. All the good stuff is here. It's a very interesting vehicle in the sense that who will buy this car? I can see it appealing to Porsche Panamera drivers, maybe some Maserati Quattroporte drivers. It stylistically can compete with them. It could also certainly be very attractive to a lot of Hollywood movie stars who are driving around in putsy Priuses and are dying to get out of those things, but it'll hurt their image. And this gives them a sporty car that's an electric car. Yeah, it's wonderful.